Hello, my friends. I'm Dr. Schultz, and this week I have a letter from Kim L. from Exeter, New Hampshire. Dear Dr. Schultz, I have two sons. One is 8 and the other is 10 months. We feed them superfood. Good for you, Kim. I have yet to see any new things on the market for children. I would love to stop the flu from getting my 8-year-old. We do not want to give them flu shots because, frankly, it just doesn't work. That's the best case scenario, that a flu shot doesn't work, but you're also poisoning your children, so good for you not giving them the flu shot. Can I give him the cold and flu shot, your cold and flu shot, to an infant and child? I'm concerned with the alcohol content and the dosages with children. Are there special dosages to give children? Let me think about that. Yes, I'm always talking about that. First of all, on the blog, you can read about children and animal dosages. But first, children's dosages. Always dose your children by weight. And the adult dose is 150 pounds. I don't care how old someone is, an adult dose is 150 pounds. So if you're 40 years old and you weigh 100 pounds, you don't get an adult dose. Okay? So if your child weighs 30 pounds, you put 30 over 150. That's a fraction. You reduce that fraction to the lowest common denominator, which would be 1/5 or 1/5 the adult dose. If your child weighs 50 pounds, you put 50 over 150, and you reduce that down to the smallest fraction, and you have 1/3 the adult dose. Now, what about if you're dosing a horse or someone that weighs 1,500 pounds? Because I used to dose horses at 1,500 pounds. Well, you put 1,500 over 150, reduce that down to the smallest fraction. That's 10 over 1, so that would be 10 times the adult dose. But that's how you dose, always by weight. Okay, if you have a 75-pound kid and you're giving them the cold and flu shot, that means they're consuming less than 1 ounce, about 3/4 of 1 ounce of a cold and flu shot. Now, the cold and flu shot averages about 15% alcohol, so that means it's about equal to that of wine. So, can you safely give a kid a small, teeny sip of wine, or 3/4 of 1 ounce of wine? Absolutely. Okay. Let's not get too freaked out about that. You can get that much alcohol just eating ripe fruit. Okay. And then on top of it, you're going to dilute that, because a 75-pound kid is probably not going to want to gargle and swallow even a half of a cold and flu shot. So I would suggest to take a half a cold and flu shot for a 75-pound kid, put it in a whole smoothie, dilute it down, and then they're getting like a sip of wine diluted in a whole smoothie. The alcohol is not going to be an issue at all. And the alcohol is important. Alcohol extracts certain phytochemicals out of the herbs that will not extract with water, and those phytochemicals are important to boosting your immune system, building more T and B cells, more immunoglobulin, more interferon, more interleukin, and all the things that echinacea does in your body. Okay, I want to mention here that we are coming out with a new Superfood 100. It may be out by the time you see this video. A kid's size, smaller tablets, easier for them to swallow. And don't forget the Superfood bars for your kids. I got them. I'm going to have to reach right over here. Superfood bar, my favorite apple cinnamon crunch, and kids' favorites, the original bar. A great way to get superfood into your kids. And you know what? Kids love superfood smoothies. Just keep it going. You already said you feed them superfood. Any herbal tonics that you want to give them. And you even have the children's echinacea, but you can give them adult echinacea. Just dilute it. And always remember, children's dosages are by weight. A child's weight over 150, reduce it down in a fraction, and that's the dosage they should get. And I would say your kids probably could use about a half of a cold and flu shot, which is about 15% alcohol, equal to a very small sip of wine. It's not going to hurt them at all. In fact, it's going to help them a lot, and it's going to keep you away from that toxic, poisonous, useless stuff made from monkey pus organs, which is the flu shot. Don't do it. Use Dr. Schultz's cold and flu shot and keep up the superfood. Thank you, Kim from Exeter, New Hampshire.